Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm Lynelle Ellis, your host, and I'm so glad you've tuned in to the show today. I'm going to be interviewing the mayor of the city of Walla Walla, Tom Scribner. I look forward to my conversation with him as we get some updates about what's going on for the city. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that part and also for the station news segment of the show at the very end. We will begin now with our devotional thought. Over the past several weeks, the church that I go to, the Village Seventh-day Adventist Church, has been looking at some of the great words of Jesus. We looked at the Great Commission. We're looking at now the commandments, the most important commandments, the first thing that you're supposed to do and the second thing that you're supposed to do. And this has been all about God's love for us and the love that we should show to other people. And it's such a wonderful theme that I've been thinking about it more beyond just sitting in the church services. And found that theme coming up again here and there in my experiences throughout the last couple of weeks. And including a song that I was playing for myself on the piano. I don't play the piano too well, but I can kind of play for my own amusement. And I was doing that last Saturday on Sabbath afternoon, and came across a song that also was right along those themes that I'm going to share with you here in a little bit. But first of all, I want to go to that passage from Matthew 22 where Jesus talks about these great commandments. Now, he's already been having a conversation about the resurrection with the Sadducees, and we're not going to read that, but earlier in the chapter, that's what's going on. And then in verse 34, we pick up the story here. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." It's really a powerful passage. This is the place where we realize that the commandments that we see in Exodus 20 are really divided into two segments that Jesus summarizes right here in Matthew. He summarizes the first segment of the commandments as our love for God and the second as our love for the people around us. And we recognize that really without God's love coming into our lives and into our hearts, we don't have any power to love the people around us. So God loves us, we love him back, and this is sort of a vertical interaction happening between us and God. And then that love that comes down from God to us spreads out horizontally to all of the people around us. Now, I mentioned that I was also reminded of these themes by a song that I was playing on the piano. The song is called "'Tis Love That Makes Us Happy." So I did a little bit of research about this song. Who wrote this song? Who knows this song? And for me, it's a really familiar song from when I was a kid. In fact, it kind of felt like a children's hymn, a hymn that was sort of written for younger people. And we used to sing it a lot when I was probably junior age, so 9, 10, 11 years old. We would sing it a lot in Sabbath school as we would meet together before church and be learning and growing and studying the Bible and singing songs together, and this was one of those songs. So when I hear the song, I immediately go back to being a really young person, to being a kid. The song, I didn't know who wrote it until I was looking at it specifically so that I could share this with you. The song was written by F.E. Belden. And when I read that F.E. Belden wrote the song, I said to myself, there are a lot of people in our audience who don't sing this song and haven't heard this song probably. I didn't realize until I saw who the author was that this song, "'Tis Love That Makes Us Happy," is probably mostly just found within my own church community, within the Seventh-day Adventist tradition, because F.E. Belden was one of the early pioneering Seventh-day Adventists. In fact, I'd like to read to you just a little bit about F.E. Belden. He was born in Battle Creek, Michigan That's kind of a famous historical place for Seventh-day Adventists. He was born in 1858. He began writing music in his late teenage years after moving to California with his family. For health reasons, he later moved to Colorado. Then he returned to Battle Creek with his wife in the early 1880s. And there he became involved in the Seventh-day Adventist Church publishing business. And F.E. Belden wrote many hymn tunes. He wrote gospel songs, and he related texts. So all things sort of song-like. And he did this in the early years of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Belden had a really unique skill. He was able to rapidly write both music and poetry together, and sometimes he wrote a song to fit a sermon while the sermon was still being delivered, and then sang the song at the end of the sermon. I thought that was incredible. Now, Belden's influence did go a little bit beyond just his own church family, his own church group, the Seventh-day Adventists, because he actually became so well known for his songwriting that he began writing songs for evangelist Billy Sunday. So that was one of the most famous evangelists of the era, evangelical evangelists there, Billy Sunday. Though Belden's later years were marred by some misunderstandings that he had with some of the church leadership in the Seventh-day Adventist Church over the royalties to his songs, so that's a little sad note, he did continue to have a good relationship with the church at the end of his life and donate his papers and manuscripts to the church's seminary when he passed away. And he died on December 2, 1945 in Battle Creek, Michigan. So that's a little bit about F.E. Belden, who wrote this song, "'Tis Love That Makes Us Happy." And I would like to share the words to this song with you right now. As I said, kids sing this song, so the lyrics are not overly complicated, but yet they're really, really profound. "'Tis love that makes us happy." That sentence alone is something to just sort of contemplate for a while. God's love coming down to us and the love in our own hearts that we share out to other people. That's what brings happiness in life. 'Tis love that makes us happy. 'Tis love that smooths the way. It helps us mind. In other words, it helps us obey, right? It makes us kind to others every day. So what's the motivating thing behind obedience to God, love to other people, kindness to other people around us? It's love that comes from Him. And here's the refrain: God is love. We're His little children. God is love. We would be like Him. 'Tis love that makes us happy. 'Tis love that smooths the way. It helps us mind. It makes us kind to others every day. Really, really basic, but God is the source. He is love. Love and God are they're like synonyms. That's what His character is. And when He shares that with us, because we're His children, then we have love to share with other people. There's a couple of other verses. One of them says, "This world is full of sorrow, of sickness, death, and sin." And boy, when we look around, we know that that is the truth. With loving heart, we'll do our part and try some soul to win. Using love to draw people to God's kingdom, to win them over to God's team, to His side. And then the third verse, "And when this life is over and we are called above, our song shall be eternally of Jesus and His love, praising Him forever and ever for what He has done for us and the love that He's given to us." God is love. We're His little children. God is love. We would be like Him. 'Tis love that makes us happy. 'Tis love that smooths the way. It helps us mind. It makes us kind to others every day. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Tom Scribner, Mayor of Walla Walla. And Tom, great to have you on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. We have some updating. That's what I'm calling it. I would love to find out what is happening in Walla Walla that's exciting that we should know about.
Exciting. Boy, that's a tough adjective to live up to. The principal thing going on right now is our city manager, Nabil Shawa, who has been at the city since 2009, has been in city administration for closing in on 40 years, is going to retire effective the end of February of next year. So the council is in the search for a new city manager. We last Wednesday at a regular meeting selected a firm out of Texas, of all places, to assist us in spreading the word that we're looking for a city manager and to assist us in reviewing applicants and making a final selection. We anticipate that we will hopefully be down to 3 to 5 finalists to bring to town for interviews in person by the end of October, early November, and hope to make a decision and have an applicant say, yes, I will be there, hopefully by the end of December. So between now and the end of, certainly the end of November, the council is going to be busily engaged in advertising for, interviewing for, and making a selection for a new city manager.
That's a pretty big deal because having the same city manager since 2009 is a long time, actually. I don't think city managers usually stay in a role in one city that long.
I've been told statistically that the life span of a city manager at a particular city or town is, I think, maybe 5 or 6 years. Mm-hmm. So Nabil, not that any of the city council members, to my knowledge, certainly not from my perspective, do we want him to move on purposefully, but he has grown well in the job and done well, and we will miss him.
Absolutely. And that's provided a lot of consistency, really, for our city. And the way Walla Walla is structured with its leadership, the city manager is a pretty important role.
Yes. Walla Walla has what is referred to as a council manager form of government, as opposed to College Place that has a mayor council form of government. In College Place, the mayor runs for that position and is elected as mayor. The chief executive officer, College Place, then hires a city administrator, a little different than a city manager. In Walla Walla, we have a 7-member council, which 7-member council selects one of its 7 to be the mayor, which is principally just a ceremonial job. The mayor has to come on the TV, for example.
Yes.
The other 6 members don't have to. But then we hire a city manager who is the principal executive officer to see that the city is run pursuant to the policies decided by the city council.
All right. Well, all the best as you're making that selection. I know it'll be a really important decision that you're
yes.
working on for
Yes.
our future, for Walla Walla. One of the decisions I know that you are going to be looking at talking about has to do with celebrations that happen around Independence Day.
You mean fireworks?
Yes.
Yes. Almost every year after the 4th, people complain, and I'm not saying that they're illegitimate, those complaints, very legitimate, about the noise and the disruption.
It's hard for pets, for one.
I have friends who give drugs to their pets to calm them down or keep them calm during this time of year.
Fires.
Always a concern. Mm-hmm. So at our 2 meetings ago, we had some citizens who, during the public comment portion of the meeting, came and said, hey, come on, let's do something about fireworks. We have in Walla Walla an ordinance that limits the type of fireworks that may be shot off. Mm-hmm. They are not supposed to go higher than 20 feet in the air or spread out horizontally more than 20 feet. For those who were alive and awake on the 4th of July this year, and I don't think anyone will disagree, we had a lot of private fireworks in Walla Walla that went up higher than 20 feet and spread horizontally more than 20 feet in violation of the municipal code.
It was quite the show, actually. We were driving out to the the real, we call them the real
permitted
fireworks.
Yes.
Out at the community college. And as we were going along the freeway, there was already quite a show happening out over the city.
Where my wife and I live, all around us, there were mortars going up in the air, hundreds of feet, and it was loud and very visible. And to a lot of people, that's what the 4th is all about.
Sure.
Bring it on. And to a lot of people, hey, should we have them? So
mixed opinions.
Yes, and every year, as I say, it comes to council. This time around, the mayor, he sometimes does stupid things. He said, look, let's vote up or down. So a direction was made to the city attorney to draft a proposed, we haven't voted on it yet, ordinance to prohibit fireworks, period, except those that are permitted by the city, the city authorized fireworks. That ordinance has been drafted and it will come to council. We haven't set the formal meeting yet, but September or certainly by October to come to grips with, are we going to have fireworks at all, or are we going to continue to have just the limited fireworks, which are supposed to control them, but don't seem to be working? So it's an issue, and the council, thanks to people who have come to council during public comment, a portion of the agenda, and spoken about it eloquently, will decide. So
Sure.
Those who are concerned one way or the other, stay tuned when it's formally on the agenda. We invite you to attend and let us know your feelings, and the council will have to come to grips with what are we going to do.
Yeah, tough decision.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
sure it
for
will
some,
be.
for
Well,
others, it's going
for
to be
others
no
it will
problem.
be,
Yes or no,
yeah.
but we'll
But
see.
for some, it might be tough.
Yes.
I'm sure right now some of our viewers are going, yes, finally do something, and the others are going, no.
Well,
So-
a lot of area churches would be disappointed if we banned fireworks because many of the fireworks stands are by area churches.
In their parking lots. Oh
They
my
would
goodness.
lose income. I'm sorry, churches who sell fireworks, if we pull the plug, but you'll have to find some other way to
Generate
pay
a
for
little,
your minister.
Yeah, there we go. All right, and we have some construction projects going on in
Do we?
Walla Walla.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I've kind
Do
of
we have
noticed
construction?
a street or two.
The Poplar Street is the big one now, starting at the intersection of really at Alder and Park. Just a little to the west is where Alder and Poplar split. We are working on redoing Poplar from Alder Park all the way west to 9th and beyond. Hope to have most of the construction done by the end of this year. But for those who like or don't like roundabouts, we are, as part of this project, will have not one but 3 new roundabouts all around the Carnegie Art Center. There will be a large roundabout at the intersection of Park and Alder, and there will be 2 smaller roundabouts, one at Palouse and Poplar and one at Palouse and Alder. So it's going to be interesting.
It will be something to get used to. It won't be
yes.
the first time we've had to get used to a roundabout in a number of places. So
It is the accepted approach for intersections in the current traffic engineer universe, and they are putting into operation what they've learned in class. When we have intersections, it's, hey, I think a roundabout would work there, and we obviously have them. We had not too long ago at 3rd and Tieton. That, to all appearances, is working well.
Yes.
And of course at the Plaza Way.
Yes.
And we've had some complaints. I have not heard of accidents there. There may well have been some, but most reports are that it is working. There have not been the delays of traffic as there used to be waiting for lights.
yes, so I find it a bit of an exchange in that I'm so happy not to wait, and I have to be vigilant and careful when I'm at the intersection. But a driver should be that anyway.
Well, yes, but staying with the issue of roundabouts, there is a dangerous intersection in Walla Walla at Clinton, Lower Waitsburg, and US 12, where there are now what are referred to as candlesticks that prevent, if you're going north on Clinton and want to go west on 12, you cannot make that turn. You can only turn to the right or go east. If you're going south on Lower Waitsburg and want to go east onto 12, you can't. You have to turn right. That has created some confusion. It makes some real difficulty for emergency vehicles to get north of 12. There are more houses that are going to be under construction soon at the northwest corner of the intersection of 12 and Lower Waitsburg Road by the golf course. And there is a push to get federal, state money, multiple millions of dollars to construct an overpass at that intersection. The Washington Department of Transportation, as I understand, and we, the council, together with county commissioners and port commissioners, recently had a meeting with representatives from the State Department of Transportation. They favor a roundabout there at 12 and Clinton, Lower Waitsburg. Some people think the idea of a roundabout on a divided high-speed highway is absolutely ridiculous. Some people think, well, let's give it a try, maybe. The issue, overpass as opposed to roundabout, is dollars. As I understand, a roundabout there would cost maybe $10 to $12 million, an overpass $30 to $40 million.
Big difference.
So if money is the driver, and this is America and money is often the driver, it would be a roundabout. But there are lots of people who, for many reasons, and very legitimate reasons, are opposed to a roundabout, prefer an overpass. Grant proposals have been made, requests have been made at the federal level for funds to build that overpass. We have not been successful to date, so stay tuned with respect to the 12 Clinton Lower Waitsburg exchange and roundabout or overpass. We'll find out.
Okay, very good. We have just a moment left, and I want to ask you quickly about...
I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, oh, come on. The sort of new way, last couple of years, that downtown Walla Walla, we've got the street that's closed off, we've got outdoor seating, things that came because of COVID, but that we're really enjoying. Is that going to stay?
Well, certainly the First Avenue change is going to stay. The council has voted the money, and it's in the budget, and construction will take place this fall on the First Avenue Plaza from Main Street south going toward Alder Street will be torn up and paved, level, and outdoor seating, etc. Most merchants are very pleased with it. It has become an attractive and well-used part of downtown, and that is staying. The what are called streeteries or parklets or whatever term you use on Main Street and some side streets, they are going to be in place through the end of this year, and I should be able to tell you this, maybe through 23, but then the council will have to make a decision whether or not they're going to be permanent or not. So they are well used. Lots of businesses that use them like them a great deal. But their future is uncertain as opposed to First Avenue.
Very good. Appreciate that update. And all excuse me, and all of the updates you've been able to share with us. Thanks for taking some time to be on the show.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Time now for station news. You need to know that you can get your own copies of Secret Life of the Desert, which we have, of course, been airing here on Blue Mountain Television. But if you would like to get a digital download of that series or order a DVD, you can go to the website, which is secretlifetv.com. Or, of course, you can call us at the station at 509-529-9149. So, again, those are available for purchase, a digital download or a DVD. Speaking of things that you could receive, and this one is not something you have to purchase. This one is free. This book, Patriarchs and Prophets, we've had a whole bunch of these. given to Blue Mountain Television specifically for the purpose of sharing them with you, the viewers. So if you're watching right now and you don't have a copy of Patriarchs and Prophets in your house, you might as well just call the station 509-529-9149 and ask for one, because we would love to send you one. This hasn't cost Blue Mountain Television anything. One of our very generous viewers and donors has given these to us to share with you. And as I was telling my kids this week, I could not recommend it more highly. I was recommending it last week, and I'm still recommending it because Patriarchs and Prophets is a great book. It talks about the very beginning of the world, even before the beginning of the world. There's a chapter in here about why sin happened in the first place. How did it even enter the universe? And then there are fantastic chapters about the creation of the world, about Adam and Eve and Noah and the flood and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Moses, and I skipped Joseph, my favorite character. I don't want to skip that one because the chapters about Joseph and his brothers are incredible. What an amazing story. I don't think there's probably a more epic narrative ever conceived, dreamed up, or written by anyone than the story of Joseph, which comes from the Bible, true story about a real person. And it's just laid out so beautifully in this book. If you would love to find out more about the stories of the Old Testament, have them sort of expanded for you, and really dig into the spiritual lessons and meaning out of each one of those Old Testament stories, this is the book for you. So Patriarchs and Prophets, please call us and get your free copy. And then also just wanted to let you know that Blue Mountain Television is going to be at the fair. So be sure to be thinking about that as you get ready to visit the fair, to look for our booth there. And really soon, I'm going to, in fact, by the time you see this show, I will be at the ASI convention in Orlando, Florida, doing some networking for Blue Mountain Television there. So pray for safety for those travels and a good time there as I work on helping Blue Mountain Television by attending that event. Thanks for your donations to the station. We need them. We really appreciate them. And thank you for watching the show today. Remember to keep praying for us, and I will see you next time.